Hey guys, welcome back to Team Slinger. My name is Peter, and today I want to go over the decks that I currently have built. So we're going to go over just a general overview of all the decks that I have on me right now. Some of them are a little bit proxied, and the majority of them are just fully built. And we'll go over what I like about them and maybe which ones I don't play quite as much as I should. So we're going to start with my GraceNovamon deck. I am running the variation that has Rowdy Rocker at 4, and I chose to fill out my rookie count with Gammamon because I am running the Red Egg. And I do like Gammamon because we do play Red Tamer, so sometimes we get to draw a card off of that. It's not a necessarily bad play if you wind up with a Gammamon on turn 2 and you just put the Tamer down. But I think this variation is fun. It is a lot of gas, and more often than not, I would find myself kind of drawing like most of my deck and just not winning. I think if I were to tweak this deck, I would probably focus more on the Blitz Omni and Apollomon side of the deck rather than GraceNovamon. But I know we are getting support in BT16. I am going to probably replace those Gammamons with the new Ukomon because it's a fantastic search tool. Or the Agumon. I'm not sure which yet. But yeah, there's going to be a way to fill out the champion count, fill out the rookie count. We'll see how I feel about the deck after that. But this is a fun deck. I do play it. Sometimes it's just not really my go-to because I don't win a lot with it. So next we have my Lupamon deck profile. I do like this deck. I do think it is fun. My only grievance with it is that it is not necessarily the most big brain deck. You kind of just build your stack and go. And if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. And for some people, that's tons of fun. I respect that. For some people, it's not. I could probably change my ratios around a little bit. I probably don't need to be at 4 on the Black Autos, to be entirely honest. I have a redundancy thing. I just really like to see them when I'm ready to hit the go button. I want to make sure I have them. So I have them at 4. Honestly, you'd probably be fine at 3 or 2. But yeah, this is a fun deck. I play it sometimes. If I'm kind of not feeling the hard deck mode, I'll just pick it and get some brainless games in with it. And, you know, that's fun. That's fine. So it's definitely up there for me. Then we have my Minervamon deck. I love this deck. I'll probably whip it out anytime I feel like having fun. It's just great. If you haven't seen the deck profile, go watch the deck profile. But this will probably be one of my forever decks, honestly. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. This is my BT16 Dorugoramon deck profile. I don't know how I feel about it. Currently I have changed this to be proxied as a BT17 version with the new deck support that was announced, and that version of the deck is tons of fun. I really like it. So that kind of sours this BT16 profile for me because if I want to play this, I feel like it's not as good. And I know that I'm missing tools, and that makes me feel a little bit iffy on it. It is fun in this version. It's just definitely not competitive. I like that we get Big Stack Go Burr. I like Zubagon Punch with a collision stack is tons of fun. And just kind of throwing this big unstoppable body at somebody and saying deal with it. And then you get the reboot off Zubagon Punch and you have a big blocker standing in their way. It's great. But it's just not the easiest to win with in BT16. So this is a fun deck. I will probably keep playing it. And then when BT17 comes out, I will play it even more. This is my ChaosGallant loop deck. I do have the Cerberusmons proxied. I think I have a profile for this one up. But the whole idea is that you spit out some rookies and then you swing a bunch of boosted checks with either ChaosGallant or you take advantage of Anubismon to do the Gizmon loop and just keep swinging in for game. So this deck is fun. It's a good casual deck. I like to play it with my brother, who doesn't really play quite as intense or competitive decks as I do with my playgroup. And if your opponent doesn't have blockers or ways to stop you from kind of swinging through their whole security, you're just going to swing through their whole security. If you, I mean, you don't have protection on the stack, so if you hit any options that, you know, make your stack die, that feels bad. But other than that, like, this is a good deck to just, you know, build a stack, swing at your opponent, see what happens. It's nice and casual, and sometimes when you play cards with your friends, you want to play something casual. And for me, that's what this deck is. This is my unfinished Garurumon deck profile, and it will probably never be finished. I'm not a big Garurumon fan. I just don't really like... I don't like the big stack mechanic, if that makes sense. I don't like building X antibody stacks. I feel like it's kind of a bigger pain than it has to be. Finding your pieces is sometimes tough. And just, it didn't wind up being something I enjoyed. This was as close as I got to finish. The Gazis and Elecmon would have been switched out for more of the BT15 Gabumons. I probably would have switched out the Cool Boys and gone more of like a blue suite here. I would have definitely trimmed down the Metal Gar Aces and put in the BT15 Metal Garurumons. and then gone to 2 on the old Metal Garurumon X Antibody instead of the EX5 one. I like it at 1, but I definitely would have probably preferred 2. The Underworld's Calling and the Purple Boost probably would have been dropped. I probably would have gotten some trainings in there, stuff like that. But I was building it out and testing it, and I had a proxied version, and it wasn't really shaking up to be something I enjoyed. My friends didn't enjoy playing against it, and for me, there's no purpose in playing a deck that I don't enjoy. My friends don't like playing against it. I could argue that it's good like competitive practice for people, but like, do we care that much? Not really. So yeah, this one's on the shelf. It'll probably come apart unless they print more Garurumon stuff that I'm kind of into, but as it stands, just not really. Marsmon. This is also another fun, more casually oriented deck. When my brother plays things that have security bombs, I play this because it's fun. When the Gallantmon deck doesn't cut it, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. But I like it. I think it's nice and balanced, if that makes sense. The Omnimon X's kind of help you stop yourself from dying. The Omnimons let you swing for game. The Zhuquaomon is a really, really nice budget way to deal with wideboard. Marsmon gets you a ton of memory back. The Crimson Blazes just kind of cover all my bases here. And then the Heroes and the Battle Gamamons are great. It's a good way to get out free tamers. So I do like this version of the deck a little bit more than the Yokomon base that I had. But yeah, more draw power, big swing, red go burr, good deck, good casual deck. If you need a like starting profile to play, and you're not super sure what to play in Digimon, a really basic profile like this, in my opinion, is not bad if you don't grab a good starter deck to start with. But this is probably also up there for decks that I enjoy playing, along with Minervamon and my Dorugoramon deck profile, because I find myself grabbing this deck quite a bit when I want to play. Lastly, we do... Is this last? This should be last. Mill Gallantmon. This deck is in a weird place because I do... This is like the actual like arted out profiles. Granted, those Crimson modes are proxied, but I really like this deck. And I like the concept behind this deck. It's just short on the gas is the thing. Like, I frequently either get my opponents really close to milling out or really close to dying, and then I can't quite close it out. And that's a really frustrating place to be in for a deck, and it makes me not reach for this deck very often. I think the BT17 Crimson Mode Aces will help. I don't think the Megidramon Ace helps because it's not really conducive to the mill strategy. And I think the new Takata will be helpful, but I don't know at what ratio I would run it. So this deck is kind of in limbo too. I just don't reach for it a lot. I do like it. I like Mill. I think it's a shame that we only have really like 2 ways to play Mill, and it's either this, which is worse, than Millith Loop, which is just the better way to play Mill, realistically. If you want to actually mill somebody out, that's just probably the way to do it. So I don't reach for this very much either, but I do think it's fun. I wish I knew how to get it across the finish line until BT17. But I spent a long time on this deck, and I've just kind of lost interest in continuing to develop it for pretty middling results. As it stands, it's just like, well, my brother's sick against playing against Minervamon, so I guess I'll grab this, or I'll grab, Dorugoramon or my Gallantmon Loop deck, something like that. So, I believe... Oh, okay, of course, we have Valkyrimon. Yeah, I don't know where I'm at with this deck either. It was fun the couple of times I played it, and then sometimes it just didn't work. It's really awkward with the rookie base and the champions, and it's not this version of the deck. I'm not saying the deck archetype, but this version of the deck is not quite cohesive, and I would love to see somebody else's profile. I haven't looked into it because BT16 is not here yet, but I would love to see somebody else's profile and see what they're doing to make this cohesive. I'm sure there's a way, and I'm just doing it wrong. I mean, that's more than likely the case. But I think it's fun when it works. This would probably be one of the BT16 decks that I'd actually be interested in playing, right next to maybe Tyrant Kabuterimon and Dorugoramon, like casually. But yeah, I just need to figure out what to actually do with it. I like that it's an aggressive and controlling package at the same time. You do have a lot of DP reduction effects and lots of ways to get aggressive. So that in itself is fun to me. Yeah, I just need to figure out how to actually fix it up and play it in a way I like. So maybe I could run Blitz Omni. That might not be bad because I do have red in here. And the Valkyrimon gets security bonus, and then I can swing probably 4 checks. That might not be bad. But yeah. So that is it for my deck profiles. These are all the decks that I currently have built. And that's kind of what I like about them, what I don't like about them. To recap, good deck, great deck, okay deck, fun deck but not good deck, don't like this deck, love this deck, and okay deck, and then don't know what I'm doing with this deck. So let me know what decks you guys have built in the comments. How many decks do you have? Do you find yourself reaching for some more than others? Anything like that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.